welcome to Making Friends with Monsters. This is a new episode, and hey, Artie, what's happening? I just got to see Artie IRL for the weekend, and it made me so happy. It was great to see you. Yeah.
Totally. I agree.
I wish I could just drive up there next weekend and hang out again. Jim has been working on a map. I'm not sure exactly. I think this is like the end boss type kind of map. Is that what we're looking at?
Yeah.
Okay.
Spoiler alert.
Okay, so the shininess that I'm seeing here is probably the encounter, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
This looks great. Did you make this in what the
Dungeon Draft?
Okay, yes, Dungeon Draft.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the textures look great. So this would be the portal, or would the portal be where the instance is?
That's where you are. The characters are to the right.
Oh, yeah. I see the little ghost car. Okay, so the portal comes.
Yeah, I didn't have time to put your little tokens in there.
That's fine. Am I crooked or am I straight? Is this me? Oh, that's me. Okay.
Yeah.
Woo, come on, Artie. Join me on the bridge. We gotta go fight the bad guy. This is great. Yeah.
Is there an auto follow, man?
Yeah, this is quite epic. This is kind of what I envisioned. Like, I also, I started thinking about travel inside of this other world after you go through the portal into the auditor's world. I feel like travel should be weird. Like, it shouldn't be like normal. I don't know why, but something in my head leads me like, if you go to the abyss, like, and you think about where you want to be, suddenly you're there. Like, I feel like travel on this plane should be like different. I know maybe I'm crazy, but it was one of those things that when I was thinking back and editing these episodes and looking at the auditor and looking at the Manatus and all the things that we've done so far, like, I feel like their world is already so strange. It needs that one last thing to make it like difficult terrain almost immediately when a party steps in. Until they get their bearings on how travel works, they are at the mercy of the land around them.
I have an idea. It's going to discuss with Yavs at some other point, but this doesn't really have to be the end.
Okay.
And I think we mentioned something about, like if they destroyed the portal.
Yes.
How would they get back? Mm-hmm. If you went around the other side of the portal, there's another portal.
Okay.
On the backside.
Where the red isn't glowing.
Yeah, go around that.
Oh, okay. So,
and that could take them to yet another world.
Oh.
They got to get back home. They could have to go through that world to get back home.
This could be like a post-campaign where like it's how do I get home? Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe that could be that world you were talking about.
Yeah, I dig that a lot. I dig it. So what are we going to create tonight from the many things that we've talked about? We talked about maybe creating. I feel like spells are almost like an easy one where we, as long as it's related to the crystal magic, even the items like we talked about before, it's so easy to think about how you could get your hands on these magically infused crystals and attach them to armor to make them defensive, or attach them to weapons to, create some kind of effect or bonus to the attack. But we haven't thought about really spells, but I feel like that's easy. Like, as long as we adhere to the crystal theme of things, you could do like a magic missile that's like a crystal missile, or you could do some kind of a mage armor that's like a crystal armor that these crystals come around you. But we also talked about maybe making a village above ground or the crystal town below ground. There's so many options. What do we want to create tonight?
Towns are difficult, I think. I guess towns aren't, but if you go to a big city, it depends on how large you're going to make it.
That was something I thought about too when I was thinking above the above ground town. This party is at least level 12 when this adventure starts, so they're not going to be walking into a tiny village. I don't think. I think this is going to be a city. of a population of, probably 2 to 5,000 most likely. There's definitely a lord of the area that they're going to be most likely picking up this quest from or getting information through or something. So in that case, it's almost like you have to choose like 5 or 6 locations that the party we have to map out, and we have to go into great detail about who's in these locations, who owns these locations, what do they buy, what do they sell, what do they trade, what's their deal. So that is going to be a pretty large undertaking. So we might not want to handle that tonight, only because we haven't discussed it ahead of time. I feel like that's something we have to kind of almost do off camera before we can bring it on camera. So if there's anything, Artie, you have any ideas?
Just nothing right now, but I'm absorbing stuff that you guys are talking about. I was debating whether or not it could be a city or more like an outpost, smaller town, like in between.
Well, I guess we got to look at the campaign now. We got these creatures coming up causing problems. It's a large city. Would a large city notice it as much as a smaller town or a hamlet?
Yeah, I feel like a small town is going to just notice right away if these things keep coming to the surface, or like we talked about the addiction with the crystals. I don't think we have to have a location that supports a community of mages or wizards, because they're the ones that are most affected by this, that it would be noticed right away. I would say, so even if it's an outpost, there is like a wizard tower there, or a training tower for wizards, or something like along those lines. There's got to be
I kind of do like the idea of a large city, because then you've got the like you said, this is almost like an addiction kind of thing, magic addiction. That, addictions are a big problem of cities.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. I do think it has to be a big city. I think
because you don't want it to be total panic and chaos amongst the people in a big city. It kind of can get lost within the city.
It takes a while.
It is a problem for the and it's a problem for the infrastructure, but it's not really apparent to everybody.
This is the continent that we're basing this on at the moment, and geographically speaking, right around where you see Shadow Veil, probably right in this area here, is where you would start going into the Underdark. So I would imagine that our city has to be somewhere from Karoth, the small port, or we could go south and put it somewhere here.
Do we want to be a port city, or do we want it to be more inland? Or
that's a good question. Yeah, because originally I had thought of Porthos, but Porthos is so far north that I don't think mapping it out would make sense, the time it's going to take. Most of this land to the south is the Fenton Farm, actually is where one of your party members came from. His name is Bob. He came from that area. The further south you go, Longway Outpost, Laughmore, and Cogstead are basically gnome, Kender, halfling races. Small Port would probably be more of a mix the further north you go. So we could just place a new city that doesn't exist at the moment somewhere between this this random dot would make a great city. Tucked away a little bit in the forest, still on the coast. Maybe it's a small port. It's not a large port city, but it still houses anywhere from, like we said, about I'd say 2,000 to 5,000. Maybe 5,000's high, but like maybe 2,000 would go unnoticed. There's definitely have to be some kind of wizard spire or wizard school here, where there's a large population of wizards either training or gathering information through libraries that might exist here or something like that, so that the crystals can start to have their effect on those folks. And like we said, it'll go slightly unnoticed at the beginning.
So where do we want the entrance to this Underdark that we're going to be going to?
I would
say it's going to be fairly close.
Anywhere in this mountain range where it says Shadow Veil, anywhere in Mount Ephesia, basically, there are probably multiple ways for people to enter and exit the Underdark. And as soon as you get to that level of the depth underground, getting anywhere in the Underdark. It's just a matter of finding the right tunnel to go deeper and deeper and deeper to get to these caverns, these crystal caverns, and closer to the heart of Athalia. So, I mean, we could say a level 12 party traveling from this city here, unnamed city, to the mountain range. I would like to make it like part of the, like, make it classic D&D. Make it, you know, where they have to kind of camp a few nights, and maybe make those camping episodes really interesting. Like we talked about before when we were talking about doing those, like, you know, you got a week off, you're missing a party member. What do you do? You know, we could kind of do a small instances, almost like side quests, where they're going through the mountains before they actually get to the Underdark, where they're maybe, you know, we can interject little things that they're going to learn about further on. Maybe they meet a creature from this place or something like that. But it allows us to give a few nights of travel, some nice time for role playing, and some, you know, some story building during that time before they actually go underground.
But would that be too far for just random creatures to start coming into their city then?
I mean, as long as the nearest exit from the Underdark is the closest city would be this city, I think, you know, we could say that from this dot on the map to the mountains themselves is only like a day travel. But like then getting to that entrance is another, even if it's another 2 days, I think would be fine. Because these creatures are going to take the easiest probably path that they can find. Yeah. They're not going to try to go over and under, around and through. They're going to take the smoothest path, and that path will
kind of like water.
Yeah. It
takes a path of least resistance.
Yep, exactly. And that will lead them to this village, this town, this city, whatever it might be. This is the episode where we hash out some of the fine little details to the story. So just I hope you guys are interested as you're watching this, because this is the kind of the behind the scene stuff that you don't really get to see with every module that you play. The planning out, the deciding of what comes into play. And I think this is pretty cool to like share with people, especially now that we're all millionaires and living on yachts. You know.
But I guess that's one thing about doing this is you have to think about what makes sense.
Yeah. Yep.
Otherwise, it's going to be awkward for the campaign players.
Right. Everything, I think, to a degree, has to be believable. The reason why everything's happening, and I think we've got a great story with the addiction thing that already came up with these crystals, and how it makes the wizards more powerful, but there's always that chance, just like any drug that you take, that on that first time you take it, you could become addicted to it. And those are the folk that have fallen prey to the madness that also comes with this miracle drug. I found these 2 stones on the beach the other day in Newport, and they called to me, they sang to me from the sand, and I thought of Artie, and I thought of the Puckwudgies, and I thought... So last time I went out in the woods, I took these and I kept clicking them together. Oh, you're clicking. No luck so far, but I did hear this morning. I heard some clicking coming from the woods, and I thought, no, it's possible.
Never know.
Okay, so let's talk about our city. Well, I guess how big is it going to be? Like compared to Neverwinter, or
similar in size? How many? What's the population?
That's a big city.
Let me quit this.
23,200.
23,000. That's way more than I was thinking. Okay, so
that's a big city, though.
Yeah, but I feel like you could have 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people, and still, I feel like that's a pretty big city. You know what I mean? Like,
well,
no.
Think about a NASCAR race. That's 40,000 people.
Yeah, WrestleMania 3 was 96,000 people inside the Pontiac Silverdome there. Mm-hmm. Do we, as artists, creators, and writers, have the ability to create a city that supports 20,000 people? It's a massive undertaking. Like, do we want to, I hate to say this, but do we want to rely on AI to create a map for us, or do we want to create a map of our own?
I'm not a fan of AI, so
I'm not either, but I'm just I'm thinking of the logistics of creating like, I mean, we don't have to create obviously, you know, there's a residential zone. There's a commercial zone where there's certain locations we would map out.
You got the political zone, where the courthouse and your, I guess, police station, whatever, your guard station.
Maybe we should take a look at Neverwinter just to see how they set up theirs and do the opposite. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I don't want to copy them, but at the same time, in my mind, I'm thinking, wow, this is very overwhelming for me to think of. Like, I look at those maps in the DMD modules back in 2nd edition where every little building is just drawn out. And I'm like, oh, dear God, if I had
I don't think we want to get that big. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very time consuming.
No one ever really explores like every building, you know.
What about that map you sent me a while back? I think it was something you were working on. I don't know if you remember that when I first got Wonder Draft and Dungeon Draft.
Oh, geez. I'm not 100% sure. I was working on Shenkata, where the next campaign that I'm thinking about comes into play. I can't think, but there is another map. I feel like I did send you something. I'll dig around. If I can find it, I'll share it, but I don't remember.
I was trying to see if I could find it.
Halfway between.
Okay, I found it.
Oh, you did? Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that was going to be, I don't know what the hell I was making that for.
Yeah, I pulled that into Wonder Draft, and I started playing around like with the buildings into the lower left and added some color, but unfortunately, I never found time to really do any more with it. But I mean, that's looking good. I mean, looks like it's got districts. It looks like it's got everything it needs.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Not tremendous.
Yeah.
Pretty good medium-sized city, port town.
Well, if Neverwinter's what did I say, 23,000?
Yeah.
Oh, that map. Neverwinter's map is gigantic. It's like shocking.
So, I mean, that's not even a quarter of Neverwinter.
No. Oh.
So, I mean, that's under 5,000. So it's getting close. Probably, 2 to 3,000 people. Yeah.
I'd say 2,500 is a comfortable number.
Mm-hmm.
Now I would say that, like, you got that keep or whatever it is to the far north, like right next to it, there's a pentagram. I think that was supposed to represent like the tower, some kind of magical tower anyway. So we could say that almost that little district up there in the far north is the main keep, you know, whoever the lord is of the land, you know, the wizard tower, the barracks lie behind there. I don't know what those other buildings, but I do think if we mapped out that whole area, that whole quadrant, it would allow players to kind of really explore that area. And we could kind of hide some secrets in some of those other buildings, maybe even some crystals or we had talked about maybe these drones that are basically slaves to the Manatus. Maybe one has escaped and he's trying to, you know, find help to free his people so that they aren't under the, you know, tyranny of these Manatus anymore. This could be a good location to hide a creature like that. Could be a good location to just drop those little hints and secrets that, you know, you stumble across in the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And then we pick out, you know, 2 or 3 locations south of here that you know, a tavern maybe the party stays at, or possibly 2 taverns so that we have options. Certainly a magic shop that's selling an underground, possibly even a map of like a black market that's selling the crystals and the powder that they make from them.
It could be like an underworld element.
Yeah, because if this is taking them from like 12 to 20, then, you know, I think there should be some leveling up before they even leave the surface world. Like maybe there's a subplot that traces them back to the origins of this crystal, so that before they go below the surface of the world, they're already at least somewhat aware of the fact that this stuff can be made into like a drug.
I don't think that's something you could work with unless you wanted to save that for different.
No, I'd be fine. I definitely want to redraw this. And it doesn't have to be like it can be random. When I was drawing, it was probably, you know, just me just drawing boxes, squares, and rectangles, and just trying to make alleys and streets. It's funny how doing something like that, though, like every little building that I'm drawing, like in the back of my head as I'm doing it, I think, who lives here? Why is this building exist here? Like, before you know it, like the whole city is alive in your head. Every building, you know, for the most part, you kind of have an idea. Oh, old lady Hillingard lives up on the hill there. She's a real bitch. But, you know, she loves cats. I'm good with her.
I'm the same way. I would want to sit there and have a purpose for each and every building, a story for everyone and occupants. So if they did party one, they could go to any house.
Yes. Yes. That's my OCD right there. Like that is like here. Compulsive. I must know every detail of every article of clothing they have in their closet and their cabinets. What kind of food? Like, yeah, like it drives me crazy. Like when you guys, like when I create an adventure and you guys enter a room, if I'm not completely prepared for you guys to be like, well, I want to look under the bed. If I haven't thought of that ahead of time, I'm disappointed in myself.
We're in trouble. We won't get through one district. It's going to take us, 2-3 years to get through one district?
I know.
We're going to be going back and forth, and it's like, okay, but what's in the top left drawer of that?
I think we need, if we can set a criteria, not for every building necessarily, but like for every district to be like, okay, this is the blacksmith. He is a dwarf. His name is this. And then maybe one fine detail about him that would incorporate into the campaign. But other than that, we can't go too deep into it unless we're putting like, if it's a situation where they go in and they could kick the ass of this guy and take something from his shop, then I think we should say, okay, there's a +1 ring of, you know, +1 AC armor class, whatever the fuck those are, defense or whatever, you know, in the building. But other than that, like, if we went through every building and did like you said, like we would lose our minds and never finish this campaign. So it's got to be a criteria of like 6 points of every building we want to detail, I think.
Well, I guess you also have to have like almost like a roaming store where if the party wants to go to get armor. Yeah. You have set stores that they could go to, but no actual location. So if they're in a certain area and they say, I want to look for armory, you say, okay, across the street is such and such. And all of a sudden that store becomes that spot.
That makes sense. That really does, because you don't really need to label every single building as long as in this district, you know, these businesses exist.
Yeah. And I guess you can have key ones that you're going to definitely have in a set location.
Yeah, but the very center there where there's a circle and there's little, it kind of circles out from the center. I always thought that would be like kind of like an open air market with like maybe a fountain in the center or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
Yeah, I looked at a lot. It makes sense.
Farmers market type of thing, or like a flea market or open.
I'd say a mix of a flea market and a farmer's market where you could get, you know, jewelry, you could get fruits and vegetables, or you could possibly find somebody selling magical weapons or something like that. That'd be the prime carts.
I know I referred to it as those, but it was probably common in this setting. It'd be common to have that.
Yeah, yeah. And I would say in a city of this population, like there might not be like epic items, but like maybe very rare items you could find in the market. That's something that I think we should predetermine ahead of time so that you could just roll on a chart or at least read off of a chart to say what's available. That's one of those things that's maddening as a DM when you guys go into a magic shop and you're like, what's available? And I'm like, ugh. Oh, you realize the thousands of items I could say right now.
But I want to know.
Yeah, I totally get it. I get it as a player the same way. I'm like, is this available? Because I'd really like to buy this if I can afford it. And, yeah.
Kind of like a blasted into space.
Oh, look at you floating around out there.
I was gonna say there could be like a like tent city side of town, attic, hangout, overrun kind of section.
Like I love the idea of like kind of like the low income type end of town where all the junkies kind of find these warehouses and kind of hole up in and just do their crystal smack or whatever we're going to call it. And and just get high off of it, whatever. Yeah, that's cool because that gives.
They could be missionaries and stuff, or maybe a priesthood or a religious sect that's like trying to help them, and you'd have like your clerical element or healer types.
I like bringing that into the equation too, because that's overlooked a lot sometimes. Certain like, when you're creating an adventure, you want every class to be able to use their elements and to bring that into it. That's a good time and good place to do it. Yeah. You could get the information from the church to go meet up with brother who's and who down in this tent district. And that's where he kind of leads you into this information about the whole crystals coming up from somewhere and their purpose and how they're effective.
Or to see the effects and what it's doing to people and stuff. Maybe they're searching for a cure or a way of detoxifying it.
Yeah, and it really gives a human element to the reason why the party would want to help, because they see the results of what's happening. Yeah.
Or you could be part of the criminal element who's looking to monetize or, deal or control the flow of this stuff.
Yeah, why not both? Why not have a subplot where the church is kind of going up against this underground kind of element where they're trying to get rid of it, where the other ones are trying to monetize off of it and they're making a killing. So why would they stop doing it? The party's drawn into the whole argument due to the fact that that's the whole point of the adventure. Yeah.
Could be where it starts off, maybe a kickoff.
Yeah, because we had talked about there was a reason for the party to be in this town, that the Lord had summoned them for help or something like that, and he could just say, "Hey, something's going on in my town. The wizards are going crazy. Find out what's happening, and I'll reward you greatly." Do we have a twist with the king? Is he just the king? Is he all good and just wants to fix his city, or is there something else going on there? I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
Oh, yeah, we could start rolling that over. See what.
I've always felt like it's too easy for the Lord to just be like, "I need help. Go get it." I feel like there's a reason, like there's something else going on. Like maybe he's, somebody's pulling his strings or something.
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of this party. They're too powerful. We can't deal with them. Send them to us in the underdark. We'll take care of them.
So would he be like a haughty king, or would he care about his people, or would he care less? Could be a queen instead.
Well, maybe
what's happening? We're cooking.
Yeah.
Or they want to, either the king or queen wants to send that party in with the intentions of, or the ruse that they want to clean up the city, but really she wants to find the source so she can have control of it. Like sending them in mainly really as scouts to learn the origins of it and where she can get it so she can control it instead of getting rid of it.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
She wants to secretly build like a slave workforce or something.
But she wants to make it appear as if she wants to clean up the city, get rid of it, to help for the people. But really, she wants to use it to.
She just wants to control it.
Yeah, she wants total control of it.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, yep.
I had an idea of like a family member that's in the higher, like in the royal family or something. Maybe it gets that high up, and it becomes like a serious issue with them because it's gotten that far into the royal court or house or whatever.
So someone in the hierarchy is using it now and has become addicted to it.
Yeah, like a son or daughter or a prince or a princess, I'd say, rather.
Yeah, that could be an interesting twist, because then it puts the queen at like an interesting moral fork in the road where like they realize they could become incredibly rich and powerful off of the money they could make off of these crystals, not just for the addiction, but they've discovered that, you know, they can use them in weapons and armor to heighten their powers, you know, but they also know that they've got this family member that's incredibly poisoned by it. Their brain, they're addicted to it. They need it. She knows that she can make a decision, but one way or the other, like, it gives her a little bit more of a humanity, you know what I mean, rather than just being just the bad guy.
That could be something that comes up later in the campaign too.
Yeah, something that's hidden
Just
from
an
the
idea.
party. Yeah. So we've got a basic map. Like I said, I will probably refine this a little bit. It's very raw. I think it was like, I don't know, first draft. I think I wanted to kind of bring it into something like Dungeon Alchemist or Dungeon Draft and kind of go over it to make it look better, or at least Photoshop it so that it wasn't, you know, dirty looking as it is. So let's, do we want to come up with a name of the queen and a name for the city?
That's always the fun part.
Something port, mountain port.
Mountain Port. I like that.
We can do better than that. I'd like it if that town was closer to the mountains too. So the entrance to the caverns.
Yeah, so here's the dot. I would say bring the dot like over here.
Yeah.
A little in between.
Yeah, we could even do halfway.
God, the coastline's almost perfect. If you look at your map and that.
Oh, the other map, yeah, it would work out perfectly. Yeah, yeah. If it's on the coast, that would be better, I think. Only because we already got it drawn to match the coast.
Because where you had that dot, there's your map kind of had that little indent right here.
Yeah.
So it's almost perfect.
Yeah, I'd say put it on the coast. You know, it's large enough that it probably, I would say it's, you know, a few miles from the or like a mile from the coast to the, I don't know. How big do you think it, like, land-wise would be? Like, if you took all the way from the inlet on the coast all the way to the east side of the village, like right now it looks like it's only like a 15-minute walk.
Yeah. Especially since you have that large building up north.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to expand.
That's kind of large. That's kind of out of proportion to the other buildings.
All the other ones, yeah, because
so that probably needs to be made smaller.
But the location, though, we can. I'll fiddle with the size of the buildings when I redraw it. Yeah,
and it can have a huge courtyard. It's acres.
Yeah, and I don't want it to be so squared off either. I feel like it should be more like an oval or like an oblong type shape. I don't think it should be just a squared off city like that.
Yeah. That's stuff that can be ironed out later.
Yeah, definitely.
Man, it's a good start.
Well, yeah, that's nice because now we've got the start of the campaign. We know a lot of the back information of the, you know, we still got to name the queen, name the city, but like we know that she's the you know, going to be a big part of this campaign. She'll be the one that probably either requests the party to come to see her. I would imagine if your party's level 12 at this point, she's asking you to come help them. So yeah, that's a big chunk of it done. Does the party find themselves in the city, or are they called to the city?
We got all kinds of options. We can show up in the port, arrive there by boat, or we can be there. I assume they're going to be traveling through.
Well, yeah, maybe it's just a stop-off port. Maybe wherever their last quest was, or either going north or south up the coast, and it's just a drop-off point, just overnight.
I love that. They start out, and I think we should have, I think the questions start out, they're on the boat heading towards this city, whatever it's named, and we have one combat before they come in. Something attacks the ship, just to start out on a fun note. Like, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. We'll create a monster that attacks the ship or use an existing monster, and then they come into port the next day, and then the adventure starts. That way, there's a little, you know, kind of fun at the beginning.
Oh, yeah, they got to go into port for repairs for the ship, so it's going to leave them in the city for a few days.
That's perfect. Perfect reason for them to have to stop, yeah. Maybe they were heading further north. They were going to go to a larger port, but they can't.
Yeah, they got a few days in that city, and so they might as well check it out and start hearing stories. start having encounters.
Yep, because that case they wouldn't be called to the city. They would have been, kind of shipwrecked here in a way and so they start. Yeah, that's great. That's a great lead in. Yep.
I don't know why, but Ethra came into my mind. Ethra. Either for a queen name or the city or.
Yeah, no, I like that either way. I think the queen something Ethra.
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 Ethra. I have hard times with names, and that just popped in my head. I don't know why.
Queen Ethra. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I was thinking it could, Kraken could be in the water. And it has like small, not as big as when you get into the mountain, but maybe there's like some little hints that there's like these weird crystal barnacles growing on it or something.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's like that creature's a product of what's going on.
Yeah, it's starting to spread. Like that would be the first thing you notice. Like those are strange barnacles. I've never seen anything like that. You could do a nature check or any kind of check, and it would come up kind of like foreign, like you've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, it kind of gives me an idea for little creatures in the underdark.
Yeah,
it could be like little crystal barnacles. They come across some more down below. That's like in the little streams below, and they reach the ocean or the bay, and all of a sudden it's starting to affect the creatures. I like that.
Yeah, like all the local wildlife is getting tainted, flora and fauna.
That would like line up with everything we talked about, how they open the portal from their world and start bringing things through. Like their idea is to, take over planets, feed off of them, take what they can. And
yeah, maybe instead of actually Kraken, maybe it's just a large octopus. Something that would have been a benign creature gets affected and is altered and mutated and becomes aggressive.
What is the difficulty class of a Kraken?
Good question. I figured since it's a level 12 campaign, it should be something fierce.
Yeah.
Enough that it's trash and boats and stuff.
Now, do we create a new creature of our own?
Certainly could.
The Crystal Kraken.
Yeah.
So that's a CR of 23. Holy shit.
Ooh.
I say do it. We open up the whole campaign with a massive battle. The Kraken, the Crystal Kraken, which is even more powerful than the regular Kraken, comes up and just starts attacking their ship. The crystals are glowing. Its barnacles are just glowing on the side of it. What is going on? What is this creature? We've heard of the Kraken. What is this?
That could be a cool battle because you're on a ship and maybe it is a warship that they got to ride on so you can shoot cannons at it.
Yeah, and you don't have to finish this battle. This isn't a battle that's intended to be won or lost. It's intended to destroy the ship enough so that it has to take port.
And and it's not a thing of getting XP. And your party has to fight it. You got a whole crew that's fighting it.
Yeah.
So they can take it out.
There could be other ships. Other ships also trying to help.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's it. Other ships you got caught in the middle.
Mm.
Yeah, your ship gets kind of caught in the middle while they're going after this Kraken that's going crazy.
Yeah.
Well, the Kraken would be crazy anyways, but...
Crazy Kraken.
But yeah, we can easily come up with a cool battle. And it's not a matter of getting XP. It's a matter of pulling them into a story that sends them to that city.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. It's like the opener.
I like that it starts on a high note. We should be like, it starts off with roll initiative.
Yeah. You come up on the deck and roll initiative.
Yeah, you're sitting in the hull of the ship and all of a sudden there's a tremendous jolt, like you hit a sandbar or a reef or something. Yeah,
you could kind of do an intro too where you write out this good, interesting, intro to the story. You've been traveling at sea and the skies have been clear and the winds have been strong in your sails. It's a beautiful sunny day. And then suddenly, this comes and attacks the ship. It's out of the blue. They've been smooth sailing for, a week from their last adventure. They're coming to, maybe they're heading up to Porthos, the big port city in the north. But they just don't get there because this damn Kraken, the Crystal Kraken.
Now, would it be a creature that came from that world, or is it something like those barnacles that attached to it and created it?
I think it's more like a tainted creature. It's from here, but it's become infected or altered somehow.
That's why I'm wondering maybe if instead of a Kraken, it'd be more like a squid.
Yeah, we could do that.
And it gets tainted and it gets morphed. It grows larger, more aggressive. But you use the Kraken stats.
Yeah, because that would really beef it up, and they wouldn't see it coming either. A giant squid attacks your ship.
And they're noticing that all of a sudden normal creatures are starting to grow and be aggressive and do things that are out of the ordinary.
Which plays right into that, they're bringing their world to ours to take over.
Mm-hmm.
Queen Ethra is the queen of what city?
Ethraville.
Ethraville?
Don't you dare put that down.
Well, we could call it like Southport. It's probably the most southern port city.
Pull up your map again, Tanya. Okay, well, how old is this port? Is this or is it the city? Is this an old city? Is it fairly new? Is it just kind of average, like any others? And what's its history? Well, it's near the mountains, so I would think it'd be a port that deals with resources, like mining.
Yeah, probably, dwarves come up from Mount Ephesia, probably bringing metal products and weapons and so on and so forth. So it probably, there's a lot of selling and buying going on there. It's probably like their bazaar, that we had talked about that middle part of the map being like a flea market, but maybe it's like a flea market on steroids. Like so much comes through this port because it's the only other port in the southern region that takes in larger ships or something like that.
So what's their specialty? Would it be the ore from the mountains, or
we could call it iron port or steel port or something like that?
Freeport.
Iron.
You don't remember Freeport?
Freeport, isn't that Rhode Island?
EverQuest reference.
Oh, shit,
EverQuest.
I don't know. Steelport has a ring to it.
Well, a foundry.
What is
foundry? A foundry, or if they had ore, I would think they would have foundries. And then where to ship, they would ship it out from there.
The foundry, we could do. Does foundry port sound weird? Or port foundry?
Naming is always so difficult.
Yeah. I'm just writing down random combinations here.
Oh, so we don't have a name yet?
Oh, we got like 5 or 6. Okay, so the foothills of the Shadow Vale.
I just wrote Veilport West as a name.
Ooh, Veilport.
I like Veilport.
I like Veilport.
Yeah, let's go with Veilport.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Now, being at the base of Shadow Vale, would we find drow there?
I would say rarely, but yes.
At night, right? They don't come up during the day, right?
I would say most likely, like they are on like neutral terms with the city. They don't, they're not friends of the city. They're not enemies of the city. They trade with the city, and that's the extent of their relationship, most likely. Other than that, I can't think of a reason why a drow would come to the city.
They might find themselves in a desperate situation too with this epidemic of.
Yeah, they may be coming to the surface more for whatever reason. Yeah.
I would think if a drow needed to travel someplace, that would be the first port they would go.
Yeah, it's definitely the closest, and we could even incorporate some kind of like almost acceptance of their race here in Veilport. Like,
might have something to do with the underground storyline, or the underworld storyline. I mean, it's part of Veilport.
Yeah, they could be a big, huge part of the black market there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, they may not be friends of the city, but they're huge friends of the Thieves Guild that lives within the city in the shadows.
Yeah.
Maybe they've even established some kind of a drow underworld here in the city in the black market, like where maybe there's a post of them. Maybe there's like 12 to 20 drow that are constantly living underneath the city that the queen doesn't know about, or if she does know about, she hasn't been able to do anything about it. Maybe the drow are the ones that are bringing the crystals in. Maybe they're wise to the abilities of the crystals. Yeah, the options are kind of unlimited, like when it comes to the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, are all the drow in Shadowvale considered to be, I wouldn't say evil, but adversaries to everybody on the upper world?
Yeah. I mean, they're only known for probably coming to the surface to raid Ash Taranalith and the surrounding areas. Other than that, like you rarely see them on the surface. Those that do appear on the surface have probably foregone their ways in the Underdark and have, traded it for a life on the surface.
Like Ribbon.
Yeah, exactly. They are very few and far between. Like, it's rare to see a drow on the surface, especially under, the light of day. Well, right now, actually, they thrive on the surface because there is no light of day on Athalia. But by the point that this adventure takes place, there will be. This is another time. Yeah.
Elseworlds.
What's that?
What's that? Elseworlds, like different. Well, unless you could do it like hundreds of years ago or hundreds of years later. Or,
yeah, we could pop this at any part of the timeline. I'm thinking future, but I mean, like, we could do, way in the past. It could take place at any point. It's really unrelated to anything that's ever happened on the world of Athalia. So, well, we got a queen, but we don't have a name for a city. Veilport, is that what we're going with?
I'm liking Veilport.
I like Veilport.
I like it.
All right,
like
so we got the queen, we got the city. Let's come up before we close out tonight with one other location. Let's name like the maid shop in town, and maybe give a name to the head wizard in the city, the kind of the teacher or whatever it is.
Well, if I name the mage, it's going to be a drug. Pharmaceutical drug, because the pharmaceutical drugs make great wizard names.
Xantax? What
else?
Xantax? Yeah. Codeine.
Yeah. Yeah, you just pick any pharmaceutical drug and it makes a great wizard name.
Demerol.
Yeah. See? Works.
Lithium.
We could do this all night. We could name wizards all night.
Yeah.
This would be great to add to a database so that we don't have to do this in the future. Be like, just click a button and be like, give us a wizard name. It is aspirin.
Aleve. I was thinking of a little curio shop. First it was Wrinkles Curiosities, but maybe Rinks, something like that. So a cute little gnomey guy.
Yeah.
Could be just a little short human.
No, let's go gnome. I like gnome.
One of your quirky characters.
Hello, sir. How are you doing today? We've got the finest assortment of all magic items this side of Athalia. What are you looking for?
Careful what you poke your fingers in, you might get bit.
No, I feel like his name needs to be Wrinkle. Like, because it's already Rinks.
Yeah.
Rinks Curiosities. Wrinkle.
Rinkle. No W. Wrinkle, Hassenpfeffer.
Hassenpfeffer.
Hop and Stomper. Hop and Stomp.
Huff and Splat.
Splat and Hopper. Mustache is almost as big as his head. Almost magically keeps its form when he talks. Looks like a broom. Looks like a broom on his face.
I like that. I'm surprised you're not drawing them already.
I was just about to start a sketch of him. I was debating if he's bald or not.
Yeah, gnomes, it's always tough. When I think about gnomes, I'm like, is he bald? Like, I feel like there's a 50-50 chance this gnome is bald. I feel like he's got some wacky hair, some crazy hair, maybe dreadlocks, or like just he doesn't groom himself. It just goes wild. So Hoffenstopper Sniffenheimers, what's his deal? What's his ties to the crystals coming in, the addiction? Is he wise to it? Is he just a pawn in this game? He doesn't know what he's selling?
He plays dumb about it.
Maybe it depends on how he reads you. Maybe he has underworld ties. But if he doesn't like to cut of your jib, he'll just play ignorant to what's going on. He's one of those information brokers. He gets all the secrets and stuff.
Yeah. He's the
Just-
hub of that. Like he's the key to the underworld almost in a way.
Could be.
I don't know. For some reason, I'm thinking if at first he's doesn't seem to know what the hell you're talking about.
Right.
Doesn't have a clue. But then when you leave, the party they roll a perception notice somebody's following,
Mm.
and he's like maybe checking you guys out before he opens up to his information.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
then he'll send them a message to meet him after midnight at the back of the shop.
Yeah, I dig that. Maybe like after they've established where they're gonna stay for the night or something like that, they get a note, handed to them.
Because that could be something he's going to want to discuss out in the open during hours.
So all of that, but he has a little like pet monkey or something, or a little creature, and you notice that it's following you, or you think you have a feeling like it's following you, and then it comes in later when you room for the night. It delivers a little note.
Yeah, what's that spell where you can see through the eyes of a creature? Is he a tinkerer? What's his? Is he mad? No, what kind of shop is this now?
I'd say this is the wizard shop. This is the magic shop. This is where you go to get. This is where I would say he's supplying the town. This is where like it gets tricky. Like how much does he know? Like if he knows that he's selling people like this stuff that could drive them crazy, it makes him a bad guy. But if he's just supplying wizards with the stuff that they've been asking for, like he could be oblivious to it. Be like, I don't know, I keep getting this supply coming in and it's selling like hotcakes. I don't know how we want to play this character. We've already got the queen with, ulterior motives. I feel like this guy should be on the level and maybe oblivious in a way.
Maybe he's suspicious and getting kind of uneasy about selling this stuff that he doesn't really know what it does.
Yeah, and he could relay that information to the party to be like, I'm nervous, I'm hurting people, and he has a conscience as well as being tied to the black market.
Yeah, that's why he won't talk to them in store hours. He wants them to come back well after midnight. Maybe
he gets killed. Maybe after talking to the party, he shows up, killed, and the party gets blamed or something. I'm going off on a tangent here, but just a thought.
I don't know. If you kill him, you may piss me off like you did with Kerplunk.
Yeah, well, that poor Noah.
I'll never forgive you for that.
I'm sorry. Well, I feel like we got a firm grasp of the city, its leader, its the wizard that kind of controls the black market through it. Like, is there anything of great detail that we haven't handled tonight? Like, I feel like this is a good start to the city. We'll obviously have to map out a lot more of it, but
I think it's an amazing start. Really didn't think we'd get this far.
Yeah. I don't think it's as hard as like when I first thought of it, I thought, wow, this is overwhelming. Look at all these little boxes. But then I thought, you know what? Narrow it down to the locations that they're definitely going to be a part of. Eliminate the ones you don't need to. And if they happen to be like, I want to go into this house and rob it, then just make it up on the fly, Yeah,
leave a little room for a DM to embellish.
Exactly. Yeah. Any good DM should be able to grab it and run with it.